a theology nerd. And this person who responded to my paper happened to be the daughter of one of the most famous Pentecostal theologians, at the time that I was growing up and coming up. And she is a theologian in her own right. She was assigned to read my paper and respond to it publicly. So she did, and we had this back and forth. And at the end of this paper, I have questions for further reflection. Now, I wasn't thinking about being a Catholic. It wasn't on my radar at all. It was just an honest question. She said, do you have any questions? Do you have anything you would like to pose to the group here? I said, yeah, this church here, like in the Bible, is it still in the world?
Whoa.
And she's like, what? I said, here it is. Acts 15, look at this. This church right here, and I'm tapping on my Bible, is this church in the world, this one. And she said, well, the Catholics would say yes, and the Orthodox would say yes. And they would say that it's them, but it's not. That church is no longer here.
Now, did you know that that's what the Catholic Church taught about itself? Did you have any clue?
Not really. Nah, I hadn't really looked at Catholicism and that. I hadn't looked at Catholic ecclesiology, let's put it that way.
Okay, so when you were studying this in history, it wasn't like they were saying, this is the Catholic Church up until whatever.
That's not how it was framed in
the early church.
Yeah, the early church.
Okay, gotcha.
And I think the guys, because I went to school at a Mennonite school, and they would differentiate between the Catholic Church and the Roman Catholic Church, as many like to do. Mm-hmm. So they may have said that, but that really wasn't the angle that was taken.
Okay. It was more like these were all just
the early church.
The early church.
Yeah, the early church, they may have said the apostolic church or the post-apostolic church, but they never would have said the Catholic Church.
So when she said to you, the Catholics and Orthodox say this is who they are, but we know they're wrong, did you question that?
I didn't. I was dumbfounded, actually. Yeah. Actually, what happened there, and the same thing happened in seminary. I presented it at this theology forum, and I presented it in class, and I did the same question in my class. And my major professor, who I love to this day, I asked, is this church in the Bible still in the world today? He said, well, Kenny, the things that you're seeing, the dynamics that you're seeing in the text there, where someone has an issue, there's a dispute, somebody has to sort it out, there's a right and a wrong, there's exegesis, there's testimonial, there's, all the things that I pointed out. He said that really just now has to be sorted out in community, from congregation to congregation, from denomination to denomination, or movement to movement. And in my class, I blurred out, well, what's stopping anyone from starting a cult if that's how it's supposed to be done? Like, isn't this just open season? Like, if every congregation gets to just sort it out, congregation by congregation, movement by movement, denomination by denomination, like if we all just get to sort out our own doctrine. And if I don't like anything, I just can start my own and say I'm right. Like, this is so. In those two settings, I had a crisis, a real crisis.
Because the ground was being pulled out from underneath 100%. You as a sola scriptura Christian.
Right.
You're seeing that in those moments, this was unworkable.
Well, I had given up on sola scriptura early in my seminary career. Now, some people listening to this might say, aha, you went to the wrong seminary. They didn't teach you the truth. No. I just looked at what I call the blunt fact of history, which is that there's a church before there's a scripture. So no one in the Bible could have been sola scriptura. They just